is one of my favorite scientists, the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, the first person to receive it twice, and still the only woman to have won the Nobel Prize in two different scientific fields. Yet, what inspires me most about her is not just her achievements, rather her determination. She spent countless nights surrounded in a small laboratory, surrounded by exhaustion, uncertainty, and experiments that failed again and again. Many people would have given up, but Madame Curie continued because she believed the search for knowledge was worth every struggle. She was not simply studying science, rather, she was in pursuit of answers the world had yet discovered. Imagine looking up at the stars on a quiet night. Some people simply admire them, maybe even count them and move on. But then there are others who look a little longer. They begin questioning, wondering, why are they there? How far away are they? And what's beyond them? And when they finally find an answer, they feel amazed, satisfied for a moment by what they've just discovered. But the next time they look up, their thoughts change. It's no longer just what I learned was fascinating. It becomes, I want to go there. Imagine seeing the Earth from up there. There's a line in Jurassic Park where the scientist Dr. Alan Grant talks about two kinds of people, those who want to be astronomers and those who want to be astronauts. One group is content with observing the wonders of the universe from a place from distance, while others, they feel compelled to step in and experience it for themselves. It reflects the difference between simply understanding something and truly experiencing it, between studying the stars from the earth and seeing the earth from among the stars themselves. Now, this isn't just about space. It's a question we all face. Do we simply observe life, or do we step into it? Thinking about this has made me realize something important. Every person is a thinker, and in some way, every thinker is a scientist. We all question things, observe the world around us, and try to understand it. But the real difference is not whether we think or not, but what we choose to do with those thoughts. Think about knowledge itself. It does not appear out of nowhere. It begins with curiosity, with someone choosing to ask a question that others may have ignored. Some people spend their entire lives trying to understand how the world works. People like Isaac Newton, who looked at a falling apple and began asking questions that eventually led to the understanding of gravity. Or Galileo Galilei, who observed the night sky and performed countless experiments before challenging existing scientific beliefs. In many ways, they were like astronomers, people who spend their lives observing carefully, questioning deeply, and trusting evidence over assumptions. And then there are people who take this understanding and turn it into action, like how Nikola Tesla developed alternating current, revolutionizing power distribution and transforming modern life. Engineers build rockets, surgeons operate on the human body, and innovators take risks without even knowing the outcome. This is the astronaut's way of thinking. And today, the same way of thinking can be seen all around us. Scientists use CRISPR gene editing technology to alter DNA, changing the very code of life itself. Artificial intelligence systems developed by companies like OpenAI and DeepMind do more than process information. Rather, they learn, adapt, and make predictions. At the same time, they do contribute to global challenges. We've moved from asking, how does this work, to asking, how can we change it? And that shift is powerful. It has changed humanity in ways that once seemed impossible. It has helped us develop vaccines faster than ever before and solve problems that once seemed impossible. It has allowed doctors to detect diseases earlier, engineers to explore space more deeply, and scientists to better understand the human mind, the oceans, even the origins of the universe. Technology has also made education far more accessible, communication nearly instant, and everyday life far more efficient than it once was. But this is also where things get dangerous, because the real problem is not the human intelligence. It is the belief that just because we can do something means we should. It's the assumption that capability equals permission. Take Carl Benz, for example, who created the first automobile to make transportation easier and much more efficient. His invention transformed society, connected people across greater distances, and completely changed daily life. Yet, over time, the massive use of automobiles contributed heavily to pollution and environmental damage. So the problem was never the invention itself, but the consequences humanity failed to fully consider. Since the Industrial Revolution, the large-scale use of fossil fuels has greatly increased pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. Today, carbon dioxide emissions are estimated to be 100 times higher than they were in the mid-1800s. As a result, the world now faces problems such as climate change, rising sea levels, melting of polar ice caps, and extreme weather conditions. And today, climate change is one of the clearest examples of progress without sufficient foresight. History has proven this again and again. Humanity's greatest achievements often carry consequences as powerful as the discoveries themselves. History has shown similar cases in nature as well. When invasive species were introduced in ecosystems, especially like places in Australia, natural balances were severely disrupted. Cane toads, for example, were introduced in 1935 to control agricultural pests. Instead, they spread rapidly, poisoning native predators and damaging ecosystems in ways that still continue to affect wildlife. Even in artificial intelligence, humans are developing systems powerful enough to shape decisions on a global scale. Yet, we are still figuring out how to handle that responsibility wisely. Now, this does not mean we should fear progress or stop moving forward. Human progress has cured diseases, expanded knowledge, and changed lives in extraordinary ways. But history reminds us of something else important. Progress without reflection can become dangerous. The real threat is not the innovation itself, but advancing so quickly that we forget to question the consequences of where we are going and what we may leave behind. Because the real question is not whether we should move forward or not. Progress is inevitable, but it is whether our wisdom can keep in pace with our ambition. Do we move forward with wisdom as well as curiosity, or simply let ambition outrun our understanding? Do we create to improve the future, or simply because we have the power to do so? Do we learn from history's mistake, or repeat them in more advanced forms? Because perhaps the most dangerous illusion of all is the belief that once we gain knowledge, we automatically gain complete control. And this mindset is no longer limited to laboratories, space missions, or scientific breakthroughs. Today, it exists almost everywhere, woven into nearly every part of our lives. Even something as the phone in your hand reflects it. At first, it seems like nothing more than a tool, something used to communicate, learn, or entertain yourself. But slowly, it begins to shape your behavior. A notification appears and your brain instantly responds with a small release of dopamine, encouraging you to check it again and again. Over time, this constant cycle of short videos, instant messages, and endless scrolling begins to affect your habits and even your attention span. Internet is also created on realistic standards for beauty, success, productivity, and even happiness. Many people begin comparing their real lives to edited versions of others online. Gradually, something designed to connect us and inform us starts thinking how we feel, how we think, how we value ourselves. And this is when that shift begins. What once felt like a tool we controlled slowly starts influencing us in return. It is as Tyler Durden says in Fight Club, the things you own end up owning you. And in many ways, the same can be said about the systems and technologies we create. The technologies we create do more than simply serve us. They slowly shape us in return. How we think, how we see others, how we see ourselves, how we spend our time, and sometimes who we become. Because we are not outside these systems, we are a part of them. And the moment we forget that, when we believe we know what we created, when we think we are controlling what we created, is when progress becomes dangerous. Now, this does not mean the astronaut mindset is wrong. It doesn't mean that we are only supposed to spectate and not explore and experience. Exploration defines us. It led humans to step on the moon. It helped us discover new sea routes, reach new continents, and unlock fossil fuels like coal, oil, natural gas, which are used as energy resources, which power the Industrial Revolution and reshaped every part of modern life, from transportation to industry. It has also led to major scientific breakthroughs, including the work of Charles Darwin, whose theory of evolution changed how we understand life and development over time. So, what's exactly wrong here? Growth without direction. Because exploration should not only be guided by the question, can we get there, but also by a more important one. Do we truly understand enough to get there responsibly? Now, does this mean the world should only belong to astronomers or astronauts alone? No. The future doesn't belong to astronauts or astronomers, but those who know when to be both, and more importantly, when to be each. People who explore without exploiting, those who innovate without ignoring consequences, and those who discover without damage. And those who understand progress is not only about moving forward, rather about moving wisely. Now, the real danger is not the technologies or the innovations or the inventions we create. It is the belief that anything that can be done must always be done. And if we continue down a path without reflection, without understanding that progress often masks destruction, we may one day find ourselves in a world we no longer fully understand or control. Now, this question isn't just about science or technology alone. It's about us humans. Am I taking the time to understand, or am I rushing to control? Because control does not exist in laboratories or inventions. It exists in ways we try to manage our own lives. Do we chase security to control uncertainty? Do we seek validation to control perception? And do we pursue success to control how we are seen by others? But when this control comes before understanding, we often lose sight of what truly matters. So the next time you face yourself a decision, ask yourself, am I trying to understand or simply rushing to control? In all of this, the real question is whether we recognize when we are truly understanding, when you are seeking understanding, and when we are trying to force control where it doesn't belong. The boundary between the two is often very subtle, but it shapes everything about how we live, decide, and ultimately define our world. And more importantly, do I know when to understand and when it's finally time to act? Thank you.